ByuN going to come in once more now.
It's a lot of units, man.
Yeah, there's a lot. And, you know, Maru's teching more normally, so he may actually get caught off guard. In fact, he's going to get hit at an angle. This is so bad here for Maru.
Yeah, we did see ByuN do this a little bit earlier, I believe. But look, this attack, oh my god, look at that damage coming out. Yeah. Maru comes down the ramp. Can he actually break back through? He does have a medevac here, which can help quite a bit.
ByuN was really taking advantage of the angle that you'd come down from that ramp, and he could just kind of have all the damage come in and hit that area in a bit of a funnel. But, you know, Maru, he's very cool and very calculated in moments like that. He kind of just controlled that correctly, pushed back out, and is in a pretty good spot so far.
Yeah, I tell you, that was it was kind of interesting seeing ByuN try to get that aggressive, but Maru countering it very, very well. They're at equal workers right now, very similar army supply. ByuN does have a Banshee going out right now, though. That could prove to be very powerful.
Oh, especially with Maru moving across the map with basically everything that he has right now. He's going to siege up, and I think that tank is just barely in range. It should be, yes, as long as the Vikings there to spot it. And unless he can try to dive on that tank, he does not do it in time. The Vikings are going to land now. And although the tank is picked off, it looks like Maru just barely has enough to keep forcing his way through.
Yeah, look at that. Continues to push forward. That landed Viking doing so much for him so far. Another grenade thrown down. The SCV still being pulled. In the meantime, you can see in that picture-in-picture, the Banshee getting some damage done as well. 6 SCVs of Maru being picked off.
Yeah, the pressure continues to mount. Obviously, he's going to be a little bit slowed down there in his income because he was stopped in mining and had those workers killed. But it seems like Maru feels like there's an opening. As far as the tank comparison goes, it's one tank on each side right now. So you want to watch those tanks very carefully and see, you know, who's going to get their tank dropped first. Because once that tank drops, you can. Oh, hold on. All right, he's going to try to actually dive back in. He could land those Vikings, I think.
He got that first shot. Yeah, I think that might be the plan. Now he's trying to kill off the actual Raven first. Picks up that disabled siege tank. Really beautifully done by Maru. He is certainly out-controlling by a bit here.
This is a real action-packed game right now.
It really is.
We have basically not had a break from the first fight. He's going to get over here. The Liberator is going to work in tandem with the siege tank to try to leapfrog. 2 tanks versus 1. But an overextension here from ByuN. He's dropped 2 Marines in the process.
What a technical game. The 4 Vikings come over and fight against 2. They pick off both without losing any. Very damaged Vikings right now, though. I swear, I would not mind him dropping a mule right now to help repair those. They are so low.
I agree. Now it's 2 tanks coming out here. 3 tanks coming out here. Liberation zone set up. 1 tank further into the back. SCV's pulled as well. Air dominance continues on. He picks up that tank at the last second.
Man, and look at this. The Vikings flying in the main base. They are going to go ahead and land and help pick off some of these units in the main. Go ahead, get rid of that SCV that was building. I believe that is an extra command center. So Maru this is the craziest, most technical push down there as he's trying to figure out if he can go in and push onto this third before it gets up. Sieges up his own tanks, but the tank count is really similar right now. It doesn't look like there's a huge air advantage either, and of course with that high ground, gonna be really hard for Maru to get any more damage done at this point. Right now, Maru taking that additional command center. You know, ByuN just expanded and Maru's staying on his side of the map. So really threatening damage, right? He's keeping that pressure on, trying to fly around and find places he can place his siege tanks here. Ooh, but ByuN comes over and does a little bit of a punch, gets that big siege tank volley, and in fact, it looks like he will just slightly win this air war.
Yeah, Maru expanding in the upper right again. He's just always one step ahead. The Marines are stimmed. They're going to come down here. The other Marines here from Maru actually get in the way to protect the tank. Beautifully done. And while we watch these tanks and Marines on the ground, you want to always keep one eye on the Vikings. Yeah. Whoever has more Vikings can ultimately win that air fight and then spot for the tanks without having to rely on scan. Tanks, of course, shoot further than they can see.
Yeah, it's a huge deal. So those Vikings, so important. By the way, one thing I've noticed over and over, and I know you have too, these are the greatest unsieges I've ever seen. It's not something that we would normally talk about, but Maru is literally unsieging and moving his tanks at the last possible second every time to save them. Well, ByuN right now trying to get something done, lands just outside of that sensor turret range, and gonna stem forward, going after these SCVs. Okay, so it's some nice harassment here from ByuN. We'll see how much he can actually get done.
And he pulls out immediately, drops back down when he realizes there isn't really that much coming in here to chase him. And this is going to be cleaned up. ByuN does manage to take an additional base over in the lower left. Meanwhile, in the middle of the map, we're about to see these two armies collide.
Yeah, quick siege there from ByuN. Maru pulls back a little bit more. A couple volleys are exchanged. Liberators pushing the siege tanks back. And of course, Liberators always a strong add into this type of army if you already have that Viking advantage.
All right, he's going to put these Liberators down here, chase these tanks away, getting those numbers a little bit lower. Meanwhile, the Marines are going to stem and come in right now. He does not have enough as ByuN pushes him back.
Wow, he thought he had enough there for sure. The way he stemmed in, I'm like, is Maru going to win? That seems like a lot of tanks, and in fact, it was too much left over there for ByuN. So he will continue to hold on. Still down about 30 supply. SCV's very, very similar, but ByuN trying to force his way across the map. Not working so far, though.
Yeah, a little bit of an overextension there. As he's going to have to back up. We do have the Medivacs down here in the south trying to come into the main. No, excuse me, he's going to drop outside here. As he probably realizes that was maybe too obvious of a play when those Medivacs went down there.
Yeah, now, I don't know, like, ByuN, it feels like not a lot of progress is being made. I like that he's down on this side now, right? He was kind of pushing through the middle before, but now he's checking the south. Like, that would be a place that Maru would want to expand at this point. But Maru just has so much. Hold on, ByuN coming from the top now with more Marines, pushing those Vikings away, but a ton of siege tanks join up from Maru and will hold that area.
A lot of Medivacs gunned down back there. So 3 Medivacs dropping into the main. That's enough to really start to blow things up if you don't have something there to defend. It's much different than 1 Medivac.
It's a good point. Like, he's going to have some units popping out, but that's not going to be enough. Like, units popping out of barracks aren't going to be able to fight against this at all. This is a huge drop from ByuN. He's going to be able to target down this orbital immediately. A tank pops out. I'm sure he'll get that as well. And this is a big problem for Maru.
Yeah, Maru's scrambling to get back there. He just didn't really have anything. He's taking out a factory now. You know, this ramp is a pretty good location to try to fight at. It's hard to get your army to filter up. He's going to gun down, I think, some of these add-ons. Or just barely not killed him.
That really did a fantastic job from ByuN. I think totally worth it. He's down in supply still, but he certainly slowed Maru, and he got a lot of Maru's army to get out of position. So ByuN is taking more of the center of the map on the heels of Maru clearing that out. But ByuN needs to do even more than this. Like, this is a great move. If he can siege his planetary, get rid of it, 1 less base for Maru at least.
Yeah, sieging up over here. This is a planetary, so it's, you know, he can't just jump right on top of it. But I guess ByuN's not going to get anything from this position. I thought this was going to go a little bit better, but now that I look at it, it's just not an opportune moment to try to come in. He may end up getting intercepted here, though, onto the side.
Ooh, nice quick stim there from ByuN, forcing everything back. Maru, though, still positionally is parrying most of what ByuN is doing. Now, that was a pretty good siege up from ByuN. He is still way down in that siege tank count, but doing a good job of maintaining that small high ground position and forcing Maru to run around in the back.
Okay, we've got another attack coming up here. He's going to start to clear out these tanks. These tanks are so precious, allowing you to basically control the ebb and flow of movement on the map. And ideally, eventually shell down another base. Maru really hasn't been dropping that much, by the way. It's mostly been him roaming and intercepting, where it's ByuN that's been coming in here. And, you know, drops like this, it can be the whole double-edged sword thing we've always talked about in past. Like, you have a move like that, 3 Medivacs full of units killed off for nothing.
4 now.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah, it looked like it was a decent idea from ByuN. The last one did a good job, but this one getting completely shut down. I mean, that's 40 supply just gone.
Yeah, huge moment there. And this may be what will allow Maru to try to actually move in here and try to attack. The Medivacs are going to be shot down here by these Vikings as the Marines continue to come forward.
Yeah, ByuN's still maintaining a pretty darn good Marine count. His siege tank's giving him just enough support here not to be overrun by Maru. Maru's still stemming forward there, a little bit surprisingly, as the siege tanks are pelting his Marines. Now, ByuN rotating down towards this new base. There is a single siege tank here as well, and those Marines are pretty badly hurt, so not sure how much damage he'll get done here.
But this has been, I think, one of the craziest games we've casted in a long time, Artos. I mean, this is just so action-packed. There's been so many fights, so many moments where it's back and forth. ByuN continuing to try to stay on the offense here as Maru's going to try to retreat and then cover these tanks.
I tell you, ByuN really can make magic. With how much Maru did against him in the early game and how many bases he got up and just the domination, I think a lot of players would have lost already. But ByuN is running around still finding locations. Look at this. Siege is up, forces everything back. Ooh, he does eat quite a few tank shots there, reducing that Marine count once again. Still in that supply deficit, but also still in this game.
Yeah, you know, it's going to be harder and harder here for Maru if ByuN can stay this aggressive. Because the rest of the expansions are going to be pretty far out. Actually, big win while I was talking about that over there. Maru ends up killing off those tanks and is going to deny the position for this command center to land at.
Yeah, ByuN bringing some tanks just to make sure those Marines can't close anymore. But with Maru's tanks on the other side, kind of hard for him to get back and actually secure that command center. Instead, going to float it up to 12 o'clock.
Yeah, going to send that all the way up and over there. Maru staying very fluid here on the map. We're going to have another engage over here in this valley. Big hits there on Maru's infantry. He does back up on sieging and relocating. We see in the picture-in-picture the Liberator actually finding that command center down there to deny some mining.
And ByuN takes the supply lead. Look at that. 191, yeah. 182. They both do have a little bit of a bank here. We'll see what Maru wants to kind of finish his supply off on as he does get back to that max supply. But like, I got to tell you, I'm just so impressed with ByuN, the way that he's playing right now. He really is putting out some top quality play. And the way that he is fighting back against Maru is not something that you see every day.
Yeah, I mean, it's really something else, man. He's hanging on and doing an incredible job here. We actually have both sides hitting in different locations. Looks like ByuN's going to take a big victory in the bottom and at the same time defend what's going on at the top. How far can ByuN go, though? He's going to come even further up here into this third base. But, of course, there's enough siege tanks there to deny that.
Yeah, two or three plus 2 siege tanks just splatter his Marines so quickly, and he has to pull back at that point.
It's important to note that these are the remaining bases that can be taken are a lot harder to defend and a lot easier to attack on both sides here. For a while, it didn't seem like either side was able to make a lot of headway. But ByuN is going to come down here again. You could see Maru running parallel across the map here to try to match him, and he does. He's going to force him back. ByuN going to have to try to find another place to enter into.
Yeah, a lot more gases being added for ByuN right now, so not entirely sure what he wants his production to look like. Maybe some more starports going to be coming up here, maybe more siege tanks as well. Of course, you got to keep those siege tanks going. But Maru, it feels like he's starting to gain more of the map once again.
Yeah, he's coming in now. And again, this is a very wide arc. It's going to be hard for ByuN to kind of make anything work there. And it seems like every time he stops ByuN from moving, he's almost already ready to unsiege and then try to meet them in the next spot. ByuN eating a lot of damage. I mean, he will kill these tanks off, but these siege tanks are going to do so much damage to the remaining infantry.
Yeah, he's losing a lot of Marines throughout this. The spread of siege tanks from Maru is so difficult to deal with.
So it looks like he does manage to kill off that tank right there. Big drop in his scan, and he just barely dodges that. Beautifully done.
Wow.
He's going to say okay, he knows exactly when that scan ends, Artosis. He's going to go over here into the main.
Oh, dude, this could be absolutely huge. That siege tank siege is so close, he's going to be able to pick that off. I'm not sure how many siege tanks he has in this drop, but even just a couple could be huge. Yeah, 2 siege tanks in here, so suddenly you can't clear this with the Marines so easily. Can ByuN take this game? I'm not so sure, though. Maru with this counterattack. That third base, though, is pretty dry, so I don't know that that matters as much.
Yeah, but he is going to go up into 12 o'clock and try to take that location out. Meanwhile, ByuN taking Maru out from the inside out. He's going to destroy all the infrastructure, halting production.
Look at this, ByuN sieging some Liberators. He's going to get rid of the tanks and stim in as they unsiege. Another great unsiege there from Maru, picking up a couple and running away. He's killed 2 command centers, which is nice. He's going to be able to probably catch some of these SCVs and kill them off as well. But how much damage are we actually going to see over at Maru's base?
Oh my God, a lot of these SCVs are going to be picked off. 34 now down here for ByuN.
And it looks like finally the main base of Maru will be cleared. It seems like he did lose some good production, though. Like, look at Maru's actual production. It's not that high. He's down to 4 racks at the moment. So ByuN has twice the Marine production that Maru has. This might be the moment that he can take that kind of tempo advantage with that additional production and break Maru.
But ByuN is here with the bigger army.
Dude, that is a lot of Marines, okay? Yeah. Maru has a lot of medevacs at this point as well, so definitely can be mobile with his Marine force, but with fewer barracks, he's having a hard time catching up to that number. You can see it's like 5 Marines versus 13 plus at a time.
Yeah, and Maru's did a good job of keeping the tank count low, though.
Yeah.
You know, a big blob of Marines, it still has a hard time trying to engage into mass siege tanks unless you drop on them. So there may be a little bit more sophistication here from the army here of, oh, hold on, here we go.
I don't know about that one. Ooh. Tasteless.
That was...
Oh, my God. That could have been like game ending, but here we go. Oh my God, he's going for it again as he unsieges. Oh, look at that spread right there. He picks off a few of the tanks, lifts up his remaining Marines and gets out. He spent a lot of Marines there.
I am on the edge of my seat right now. That was a perfect click with the tanks into the center of the Marine clumps, taking out a huge amount of what ByuN had.
But it's wild to see how this game has shifted. Remember how this started. Maru had a huge containment on. He had done damage. He had way more bases more quickly, way more siege tanks. And ByuN, his mobility, his killer instinct, his micro with these Marines, unreal, takes out another base of Maru's.
Dude, this is so crazy. He's going to go for a big counterattack. He knows he can't deal with that army, but at the same time, you know, there's more bases for Maru to try to, that he can give up, right? Where ByuN has been operating off of very little. In fact, I don't really think he's mining right now.
Now, I believe he's not. He just lost his best base, his base that had the most saturation.
Oh, Artosis. Oh, my God. He needs to protect those tanks.
Yeah, Maru's stimming back very, very quickly there.
Oh, my God. I think that we may see ByuN bleeding off just a little bit too much here. Just a little bit too much.
Well,
there's 3 patches there. Okay, he's got some SCVs up there. And he's going to force a lift. Can he actually kill the command center? I don't think there's any way that he can protect it.
I don't know. The siege tanks are making it a little bit harder, but he does pick it off while his siege tanks come up and get a kill on one of Maru's siege tanks there as well.
The thing is, there's just some Marines being made. Where
are they mining?
Yeah,
who's mining minerals?
Are these guys both broke?
I believe they're not mining minerals. The Liberator is a key unit right now.
Yeah, the Liberator is MVP right now, moving in, and he's just going to try to clip at these tanks. Doesn't quite get it. He's going to do a drop. Nope, just decides it's unwise to go in there any further. And right now, Maru is in a better economic situation than ByuN. ByuN is mining from this base, but you can see the tanks are going to get in range. That's going to muddy that endeavor.
That one Liberator did all that work by itself, so they pushed everything back, and that is a clean sweep of that base. ByuN trying to go for some sort of counterattack, and I mean, maybe he can get something done here. He has the siege tanks as well. He's getting on top of a lot of this production.
Yeah, I don't know that he can quite get into the main.
Can he lift up and go into the main? Is there anything there to really stop him?
I think he can, but he's afraid that then the Marines of Maru's are going to jump on the tanks and kill him.
Yeah, he might be right about
here we go. Let's see what happens here.
You got to take the risk, man. He gets up into that main base, but the tank...
the Liberator!
Oh, no, it's back. The king of all Liberators, destroying ByuN's chances in this game.
I think that Maru has just barely won this game. Oh, my God. There's a Liberator over here. So Maru's not mining again.
Oh,
I think that Maru's just barely won.
Yeah, I think you're right. Like, ByuN had the sickest comeback ever, and literally the one Liberator won this game, Tasteless. ByuN was mining more than Maru at that point. The Liberator pushed everything back. He had nothing that could hit it. He didn't have a Viking. He didn't have a counter Liberator. That's insane.
Yeah, and you know, ByuN, I think he really tried to force his hand with the armies that he had. Maru actually had less, but basically traded a little bit better throughout this, and then covered his base. And, you know, he's going to continue to be able to mine from the top right.
Well, yeah. Maru really in control at this point. ByuN, you know, it's slowed down because he just doesn't have anything left. He's not mining any minerals. He's looking for something to do.
That's it.
Yeah. No. You know what? 2 racks Reaper is just like, it's a good build. And it's like cheese, but how many games do we see where it gets blocked, but they're almost exactly even? Yeah, this is...
that was very strange. Like, it looked like they were trapped, and then they weren't.
Yeah, it was just slightly off there, but that's a great way to block it, right? Is you have the SCVs, they're ready to do damage to the Reapers, and it stops the micro as well.
Yeah. And so he's going to try to look in from the front. And keep in mind, if you don't get in their base with the Reapers, then you're in trouble.
Yeah, you
need to actually do some damage here. So he's going to come in here. He'll kill that SCV, making the command center.
And he wants to do something here. The first Hellion is out. Some nice micro there. He picks off one of the Reapers. He's going to get a second one. But he is losing some of his own. Only 2 Reapers remain. Going after that Hellion!
Run!
Ooh, very, very close to getting the kill on the Hellion as well, but can't quite close the deal.
Yeah. He does save that Hellion, repairing it. And, you know, remember that Maru is more angled towards developing in this game. I mean, economically, which is, you know, what most StarCraft games are won on long term, right? Mm-hmm. But ByuN's not done making Reapers. Now, Reapers, by the way, you know, they really drop in value the longer the game goes on.
Yeah.
To the point where there are no more Reapers in the game. There's no reason to make a Reaper.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, is he going to get the kill on that?
Oh, that's so annoying.
Yeah. And that's a great usage of that Reaper in, you know, the last few moments of the game where it can really do anything. The Reaper's going to come up here and probably snipe this Hellion. And a bit of a misplay there from Maru. You know, when you see the barracks there, you should know that this is coming. They don't just leave the barracks there for no other reason, you know.
For sure.
Now, keep in mind that isn't a barracks that can be sent back home. It's okay, but, you know, there's going to have to be a lot more rebuilding here on that end. Mm-hmm. The barracks goes down, the command center will land. And Maru, it's fair to say he is a little bit ahead here.
Yeah, I would say so. The SCV count is the same. And as far as army goes, certainly Maru does have a bit of a lead there. But ByuN is doing some interesting things. Like, he's getting some Cloak Banshees out. And don't ever underestimate middle game Reapers for ByuN, right? He's the only person we've ever actually seen utilize Reapers past those first few minutes. And he sometimes can make some magic with them still. Maru sent the 2 Vikings to look for these, but he had just cloaked, so Maru completely missed it. And look at this. A lot of damage can be dealt. 6 SCVs already killed off. And a little run in here, still utilizing those Reapers, using a medevac with them as well, and the 2 Cyclones, which again don't scale much. What a cool move here from ByuN.
Yeah, I mean, that was actually insane.
Dude,
and the
18 SCV kills.
The Banshees are not done. Another SCV is going to go down. This is going to be almost 20 kills as far as workers go.
Oh, my God. Oh, the disable was so smart, and he targeted the more damaged Banshee and barely kept the tank alive. Oh, the moves of these 2.
It's pretty impressive, man.
Some great moves there from ByuN, no doubt, but Maru's starting to push in now. Look at this, the disable on the tank, getting into position with some of his Marines. The Vikings going to town on these medevacs. The disable's so strong. But hold on, look at this, picture-in-picture. We have a counterattack from ByuN into the natural of Maru doing a lot of damage as well.
Yeah, I was getting confused. I'm like, well, how is he just beating him up now? And then we realize, oh, because all of his Marines were here. This is starting to look a little base tradey, but keep in mind that ByuN is inside the main, whereas Maru is trying to fight up into the main.
That's true, but Maru's army is a lot stronger. ByuN gets forced out of there for now. He's going to drop at that 3rd and deal some damage. ByuN still has his SCVs mining at his 3rd base, so maybe his economy is slightly better just at this moment, but it feels like Maru's army is better here. Look at this. Gets in, gets on top of that C-chain, kills it off, forces the lift off, and the SCV's likely to be killed as well.
Yeah, and he's going to keep trying to chase down that command center. He sees the SCVs are isolated down here, but the command center is the more important target for him. He is going to take that out. And, you know, I don't know that ByuN can really recover. He doesn't have any way to counterattack there. The SCVs are actually stuck on the map. So when you look at the worker count, that in of itself is misleading, although I guess we're going to finally get those cleaned up here as well.
Yeah.
You know, TVT is such an incredible matchup, but when you watch these 2 play it, it looks like it's the best matchup in the game, man.
Yeah, honestly, so far this week, it has been the best matchup in the game.
GG, Maru takes it.
And with a 2-0, which...